Right now, there is an accused terrorist known as Jafar awaiting trial for his role in the 2021 Abbey Gate bombing in Afghanistan, which killed 13 American servicemen. Only one case like this has ever been to trial in a U.S. criminal court and was highly controversial at the time. Jake Tapper has written a book about that case called Race Against Terror. Jake, welcome. The story that you tell is about the first terrorist tried in a U.S. criminal court for killing American soldiers on a foreign battlefield. What's unique and controversial about this?
At the time, 2011, 2012, the idea of bringing foreign terrorists to a criminal court instead of a military commission at Gitmo was incredibly controversial for any number of reasons. First of all, I think the country was still very terrified and terrorized because of 9/11, and there was this fear that these foreign terrorists, it was as if they had like Thanos-esque supervillain powers. If you brought them to Manhattan, they'd escape and kill people. But beyond that, there was a trial in 2010 of a guy named Galani for the 1998 embassy bombings, and he was acquitted of 284 of 285 charges. So there was a real fear that these people would get off. They would be somehow able to escape justice. But the case of Spin Ghoul was fascinating because the prosecutors and the FBI did so much work, so much sleuthing, so much investigations in terms of finding evidence against him to prove that he was part of an al-Qaeda ambush in Afghanistan in 2003 where 2 American service members were killed, to prove that he was part of a conspiracy to blow up the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria, that the case was just, first of all, just an incredibly fascinating, sleuthing story, but also ultimately a huge success. And he has been sentenced to prison, and he's at a supermax in Colorado and will be for the rest of his days.
So as you say, it was super controversial at the time. This was in the Obama years. Many Republicans came out against it, including Jeff Sessions, who later became Trump's attorney general. Now Donald Trump is walking down Obama's path and wants to try this terrorist Jafar. What does that tell you about the sort of trajectory of the war on terror? Or, you know, that Donald Trump is now doing pretty much the same thing that Obama did?
I think, first of all, he probably is doing so unknowingly. I doubt he knows, or even his attorney general knows, that they're following the footsteps of Obama in what was a very controversial move at the time. But when President Trump announced at his joint address to Congress earlier this year that they were bringing Jafar to the U.S. for trial, nobody said boo. Nobody protested at all. So I think we are in a consensus view that is neither Bush doctrine, nor Obama doctrine, nor Trump doctrine, where it's just kind of accepted that trying terrorists in criminal court is actually a very successful way to go after them. More than 600 terrorists have been tried in criminal court, whereas in the military commissions, I think there have been 2 trials, and one of them had part of it overturned and 9 plea deals. It certainly does not have the same record. But I have to say, the one way in which Trump is not following in the footsteps of Obama, and I don't think this is a good thing, is the Trump Justice Department is purging these experts, these expert prosecutors from their ranks. And it just happened with Jafar's lead prosecutor, a guy named Michael Ben-Ari. He was just fired for political reasons, and I think that's a real problem.
This is such a fascinating story, Jake, and thank you so much for having done the research and putting it all together. We'll read this with great interest. Thank you.